every sensor soul in search of answers.
With all my talk of Fallout being a series with very mature concepts and such, I evidently forgot exactly how goofy and tongue-in-cheek the franchise could be. Released on July 19th for Fallout New Vegas, the expansion of Old World Blues is an interesting contrast to the rest of the DLC installments, going into the realm of the zany and odd for a non-linear exploration experience. But that doesn't necessarily mean that because it's goofy and open world, that doesn't mean it's worth the purchase. So, in my return for my self-imposed exile, I bring to you Blister One's a review of Old World Blues to tell you whether or not it's worth the hard-earned cash.
But what of its brain? We scooped that out. We don't even know where we left it. And for putting it back in, none of us have the knowledge.
The story of Old World Blues begins with you being teleported to Big Mountain, also known as the Big Empty, and your brain, spine, and heart are plucked out of your body. No, you're not hearing that wrong. After waking up and finding the scars, you head into the facility that you're on the balcony of and find the scientists of Big Mountain. Well, not true. You find their brains running robots with 3 monitors attached. Essentially, your goal is to go and defeat the evil Dr. Mobius, who has been threatening the other doctors for something. Oh, and you must do it for science! You see, if you come into this expansion expecting the storyline depth of a Dead Money or an Honest Hearts, you're not getting it. You'll be surprised, but whether or not you're pleasantly surprised depends on, well, the way you approach Fallout. If you appreciate the Fallout series as being a place with a mixture of goofiness and seriousness, you'll enjoy the quirkiness of the story. If not, you may not appreciate the proverbial peanut butter in your chocolate. Up to you, though. When it comes to the environments around you in Old World Blues, you can expect most everything to look like a pre-war science experiment from that respective universe, or a 1950s sci-fi movie on acid. Pick one. It almost gives the environments an otherworldly feel to them. The only real issue that I took with them, though, was that there's a specific point near the end of the story that puts you in a spot where it's pitch black and you can't see more than 5 feet in front of you, but that's sort of a minor gripe, so to be truthful, if that's the only gripe I've got with the presentation, well, it's good. I'll put it that way. As for new enemies, they also have a 1950s vibe to them, literally feeling like they're pulled out of a 1950s sci-fi movie, like I said before. You see your usual Robco robots, Robo-Scorpions, and what amounts to a palette swap of Rex with a different colored brain case, but there's also new enemies like the trauma-resistant suit, which seems to be piloted by a dead body with an exposed skull and all, other science experiments such as yourself that have no brains, and a few other enemies that you'll see here and there. So unlike Honest Hearts, there's plenty of new things to see everywhere that'll stimulate your optic nerves. For science.
This one looks pretty tough. Fighting over.
Gameplay in Old World Blues is still the standard post-Fallout 3 fare, so let me run through the basics of what you'll find yourself doing to survive in this little DLC morsel. Like Honest Hearts or Point Lookout, Old World Blues takes place in a small area that has plenty of different places to go explore while you play, so it's essentially one map with a bunch of locations with a story that you can follow, but it's not necessary. The storyline runs at about maybe 3 hours, so it's a smidge longer than Old World Blues, but at the same time, there's just as much to explore and find and kill if you want to. The only fault that the gameplay really has, though, is the experience seems to be tailored to a specific skill set. Granted, if you're playing at a really high level, my playthrough saw me hit levels 40 through 43, you'll have quite a few skills in every area, but for the lower levels it won't be the same. Specifically, it feels like it's necessary to be good at stealth, and it's nearly a necessity to be skilled in medicine, science, energy weapons, and speech. Now, I'm not saying you can't complete it with other skills, but still, it just does not feel that balanced. For you hardcore players, considering the shortage of food and places to rest in the Big Empty, you're probably going to find yourself traipsing back and forth to your headquarters every time you need a nap or have a boo-boo. You know, despite the gripes that I have with the DLC, Old World Blues has quite a bit more to love to it. Lots to explore, lots to blow up, quite a bit to discover. And quite frankly, I think that it serves as a solid little distraction to spend time with before the story of the courier ends while meeting Ulysses at the Divide. It's by no means the deepest experience that you'll ever find in the Waste, but it's easily the most comedic and it's one of the most fun. Most people who enjoy Fallout should get a kick out of this little slice of downloadable pie, so I say pick this one up once you have cash. For Science and Blistered Thumbs, I'm Micah C.